Welcome back to the Live Free Miami podcast. I'm your host, John Kelly, and today we have a special guest, CBD extraordinaire, Claus Alfaro.
Hey, John.
Claus, thanks for joining us today. Claus is a member of the gym, and Claus also works for a company called TrueLeave, which produces CBD products. And I've always really been interested in CBD products. I've taken many CBD products throughout my life and become very passionate about the effects that CBD can have on your body, promoting recovery, healing, and making you just feel better, giving you a better quality of life. And if anything, Live Free is about improving your quality of life. So I wanted to have Claus on the podcast today so he could elaborate a little bit on the benefits of CBD and how it's different from THC and why you should be taking CBD. So Claus, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here. I was thinking when I was coming here, there's so many talented people in this gym. The members that you have here are A1, top class, and I'm lucky to be here with you, man. Always been interested in everything that you do. Thank you for having spreading the health and awareness around it in this community. That's something that I've been doing or living by quite some time. Always can improve. We can always improve.
Yeah.
I'm honored to be here. I go by Claus. Claus Alfaro is my full name. I've been involved in the medical cannabis industry here in Florida for 4 years. So basically, when it became legal as a medical program, it's when I started working officially. So I have been part of the industry. I've been employed in the industry full time for 4 years now. So it's something that's new. It's something that even though there's cannabis use has been out there for thousands of years, and all of our community and people that we know have been using it for 30, 40, 50, 100 years. Now it's when we are realizing, hey, this plant really has medical properties. This plant can really do a lot of things for almost everybody. So I'm here. That's one of the things that I have going on. We have a lot of things going on, and living here in Miami, you have to be very active and do a lot of things to get by, right? But I'm happy to be here. Any questions that you have, let me know, and we'll get to it, man. You talked about CBD. Is that your main topic, your main interest today?
Yeah, I think CBD is a topic that not a lot of people understand. And if anybody ever says cannabis or marijuana, people automatically think of it as a drug, as illegal, as bad. And that connotation has been with cannabis since the early 1900s when they started calling it marijuana. And a lot of people don't understand is cannabis was a medicine for many, many years, like you said, until there became a political element with the cotton industry and hemp, because hemp is an annual plant, so you can grow hemp. Annual plants mean that they mature within a year. So if you grow hemp, which is similar to cotton, you can make textiles with it, you can make medicine with it, and it's a competitor. And then you get lobbyists who come and they want to create a division amongst the people, so they give it certain labels, and one of the labels was calling it marijuana. Yep. So maybe you can elaborate a little bit on the history of cannabis and CBD.
That's what it is. So that's all history, what you're talking about there. We did a little bit of research recently on the history of cannabis and the history of, however you want to call it. It has so many terms, ganja, it goes on and on, right? Weed, all that stuff. But it's always been giving a negative connotation, and it happened because of what you just mentioned. So I think there was a very powerful family. I don't know if it's the Hearst family or something like that. And then everything was spearheaded here in the United States by Anslinger. And who he was, basically, he was a director of alcohol prohibition, right? So when prohibition ended, they didn't have something to go against. And they went into marijuana. They labeled it marijuana. They took the word marijuana from, I believe it was Mexicans, and they brought it from Mexico. So it gave them that additional kind of layer, Hispanic or whatever, immigrants. Yeah. So they were knocking a few birds with just one stone. And they made it illegal. It's a really long story. There's a Marijuana Tax Act, and it was in the 1930s. So cannabis, it was made illegal in the 1930s, and we're here in 2020, and now we are going back and basically fixing all the mistakes that they did. So the stigma is there, unfortunately, because of that, and it's hard. I am Colombian, right? Colombian, Puerto Rican, but my family's in Colombia, super Catholic. They're Hispanic, they're down there. It's a third world country. Everything, it's always delayed. So here we are in the front of it, right? We are more advanced. Over there, we still got a lot of work to do. So I see it, and it's going to take some time. But where we are right now, it's amazing. Everything started with California. It was one of the first states, Colorado. But there's a lot of things that you can do with hemp and cannabis, right? So it's a plant. It's very safe. It's organic. It's basically, it grows from the soil. So you one of the biggest things with cannabis is that there's no reported overdoses, right? And that is where we can come in with the medical benefits and talk to the doctors and tell them, hey, nobody's overdosed on this plant. So it's not considered a drug anymore. There's no risk of overdosing, so it's safe.
But you can die from it if about
10,000
yeah.
10,000 pounds. It's a number. 10,000 pounds of weed land on top of you, right?
Exactly.
But not consuming it. That's about consumption. Just for people to understand, I think once you start looking into things as medicine, you see your doctors, they always prescribe you medicines in milligrams. So you get a 20 milligram tablet 3 times a day, yada, yada, 5 times, 7 times a week. With cannabis, weed, ganja, whatever you want to call it, marijuana, it's also milligrams, with CBD and THC. They are both tracked in milligrams. So you are going to be able, as you start knowing and educating yourself and you become a patient or a legal card-carrying Floridian, like I am, there's a medical program here. You can go to the dispensaries and purchase these products legally. You're going to understand that, hey, this is the symptom that I'm going through, right? Let's say I can't sleep. Somebody's suffering from insomnia and they're going to use it for insomnia. They know that 20 milligrams of CBD and 5 milligrams of THC are going to do the trick. And by 30 minutes later, 40 minutes later, they're going to feel the effects and they're going to be able to sleep. So as we start knowing how to consume properly and safely the product, once we start evolving, it gets so much better because you know your body better than anybody else. And what works for you is not going to work for me. So all that being said, CBD and THC are 2 different molecules. They're the main components of the cannabis plant. They're called cannabinoids. Hammering down onto CBD, which is huge, and I know it's here at the gym, what it's needed for. So CBD is a huge anti-inflammatory. That is the main property of cannabidiol. It's the actual name, CBD. So the benefit of CBD is that you can take it after intense workouts, or if somebody that's suffering from inflammation, they can use it, and it's going to help them just basically not recover faster, but recover better. And it definitely helps with the anti-inflammatory effects.
Now, some people are a little skeptical about CBD because they're worried that they're going to have a psychoactive effect or that they're going to get popped for THC on a drug test.
That could happen.
Yeah.
So 2 great comments right there. So the psychoactive effect. Psychoactive effect is something that you don't have to be scared about. You don't have to see the high or the psychoactivity of a cannabis product as something bad. I'm not saying that you should see it as something good, but you need to understand how to work with it. And that's where I'm going back to the milligrams. If you consume cannabis, if you smoke weed, and you smoke 5 milligrams, you're going to feel an immediate effect. But 5 milligrams might be within your tolerance level. Then if you go to 10, 15, 20, 30, well, those are more drugs that you're taking, right? So if you know your body and you know that 5 milligrams is your ideal dose, you will consume 5 milligrams and you'll carry on with it. The psychoactivity is not going to make you feel weird or uncomfortable. Yeah. So psychoactive effect, it's not negative, guys. Psychoactive effect is something that we need to know how to handle. Now, CBD, completely non-psychoactive. So you can take 100 milligrams of CBD. It's not going to give you any type of psychoactivity, but it's going to give you a body calming effect. Now, until getting to the tests, that is going to be something very important. You're going to have to be a smart consumer, and you're going to have to be a smart shopper, and you need to know what you're buying. So what I'm trying to say is, when you purchase a CBD product, you know it's available at retail. You've probably gotten 30 people calling you trying to sell their CBD here, because I've heard it. Since it's only been regulated for 4 or 5 years, the regulations are not there. So when you're going to buy one of these products, you have to make sure that you're getting a quality product. You know, when you go to the store, you go to Publix, right? To buy products that you know that are good. That's the same thing with the CBD. You don't know where it comes from. You don't know the quality. You don't know if it's good or not. So
Or
a lot
how
of the
it's
CBD,
extracted.
a lot of the CBD that's coming in, man, it's Chinese oil. You don't know what's going on.
So how would a consumer navigate that?
I would take advantage of having a medical program here in Florida, because we are definitely in a place where we can obtain safe product. And one of the things that we do, and I'll pitch in the company, it's at TrueLeaf, every product that you buy, if it doesn't work properly for you, you come back and we will exchange it for you.
Wow.
So because a lot of people that are getting into a cannabis regime or a protocol, they're newbies, man. They've never done this before, and they're doing it for the first time. So they buy one product, and they walk out of the store, they go home, and they don't feel it, or it doesn't work for them. So a lot of people, they're stuck with it, right? And if you see a doctor, you buy your product, and then you're stuck, it doesn't work, you're not gonna go back. We make sure that if something's not working properly, bring it back, and we'll work with you until you find the right product that you're gonna utilize. That being said, we don't only have a CBD oil product. We have over 500 different SKUs available at the TrueLeaf stores. So you're seeing the whole spectrum. So on CBD, for example, you have a CBD only bottle. That CBD, that's going to be CBD dominant. It'll have under 0.8% THC. It's going to have some traces, but patients are not going to feel any psychoactivity. But from there, you go a step up. You have one that is high in CBD, low in THC, one that's completely balanced, one that's high in THC, low in CBD, and then one that's completely THC dominant.
And those are all
in oil forms.
In that way, so that you can get different reactions from it.
So it goes with the symptoms that you're addressing, right? So the medical program here in Florida has a list of conditions. You're going to see your doctor. He's going to qualify you under whatever condition it is. Doctors are amazing here in Florida. They're doing a terrific job right now. They're helping patients. Everybody's getting approved. Everybody's getting their cards. And yeah, just going back, it's depending the symptom that the person needs. At our stores, we're seeing people with all different sorts of conditions. You have cancer, you have chronic pain. The list goes, Crohn's, PTSD is huge. A lot of people with PTSD are using THC to relax, to fight depression.
And like you said before, inflammation. We all have levels of inflammation. Why not be proactive and take something that medically has been proven to reduce inflammation, if inflammation is leading to all these preventable diseases?
Inflammation is the cause of a lot of things, man. And it goes like this. What I'm doing right now, it definitely correlates with healthy lifestyle and the gym, and that's why I'm so grateful for the gym, because it's a time of the day that you get to disconnect. It's healthy because you're already disconnected from your phone. You're just in the zone, doing your thing, laughing, and sharing. It's always a happy time when you're here. But that really carries you a long way. And everything that you do in the gym, sweating, working out, social, everything, it's healthy. And you start seeing people out there. And, I see, I don't want to say look at my friends, but I look at a lot of people that are really close to me. They don't do anything, man. And I started doing this 8 or 9 years ago. I'm already, I'm mid-30s, 36. If I wouldn't have started going to the gym 8 years ago, and then 20 years later, where are we going to be at? So we need to take care of ourselves. We need to, do the work at the gym. We need to eat healthy, sleep, that. And then adding these supplements like CBD are going to take you that extra mile. And it's it's a sacrifice that we need to it's going to cost us something. It's going to cost some money, but you need to take care of yourself.
It's an investment.
It's an investment in your health. As many times you've heard it before. I mean, if you invest in you and you put money into your body for healthy purposes and for positive purpose, you're going to get that money back, man. You're going to get it back, and you got to put you first. I mean, that's something that I always
Well, I think the beauty of CBD is that it's 100% natural, and a lot of people don't understand that you actually have cannabinoid
endocannabinoid
system with receptors.
Correct.
Just like you have a nervous system, a cardiovascular system, your body's built with a system
Yep.
that receives the CBD in a positive way.
And all the cannabinoids, not just CBD. So you have CBD and THC, but there's CBN, CBG, THCV, THCA, a lot of different components within the plant, and they're all called cannabinoids. We have an endocannabinoid system in our body, ECS, it's how we call it too, and it's like a lock and key. The receptors work like locks and keys. So you have your receptors inside your body. When the cannabinoids come in, they basically, they lock in, and you're going to have CB1 and CB2 receptors. I'm not a medical professional. I let the doctors do their thing and really get into the science. But very basically, when they lock in, they're going to provide symptoms of relaxation, bodily functions. So you go to the bathroom and make you sleep. A lot of positive, healthy benefits that you want in your body. And then we go back to people that have been consuming cannabis for a long time, and they didn't even know that they were doing it for the right reasons. Some people think, oh, recreational. Something, I didn't coin this, and I'm not the one that came up with, but all cannabis use has medical benefits, and it's medical use. Even if you're doing it for recreational purposes and to have fun or whatever you want to call it, you're still going to be, it's still going to be an anti-inflammatory, it's going to be anti-anxiety, it's going to be antidepressive, it's going to be insomnia. Those are all medical benefits, right? Those are all very good things that we need. So people need to be a little bit more open, understand that it's safe. Everybody loves to drink, man, but when you look at it, it's poison, man, and it's
Literally.
You're spending hundreds and thousands of dollars for fancy drinks, and you're just basically
You're killing yourself.
Man, you're killing yourself.
I was having a discussion with my daughter today because we were coming home from the gym, and she was going through her phone, and she saw that one of the kids at her school had died from alcohol poisoning. And she's grown up in a house where cannabis is very available. My father smokes, I smoke, we both take CBD. And from the beginning of her life, I never hid anything from her because I told her that alcohol, which is legal, is actually worse for you than marijuana, which is illegal. And I always explained to her how it's natural and how just because something is legal doesn't make it right. If you look at slavery, that was legal at one time.
Yeah, say no more, man.
That doesn't make it right. So it's back to the programming that society places upon us. All of us, especially growing up in America, we think drinking is okay. Have a drink. How many beer commercials do you see? Where everything is cool, everybody's having a good time. But you never see marijuana commercials unless they're reefer madness, where somebody's getting
accepted. It's more than it's accepted, socially accepted. So we've grown with it. We've been raised and bred to. That's what we do, and that's the thing to do, right? And I'm guilty of it, and
we all have been guilty of it.
Yeah, right. But for me, it's been amazing to see that shift in perspective and understand that, weed is bad, marijuana is bad, and then now seeing, no, wait up. If you understand and it's about responsible use, and the same goes for alcohol. If you're being responsible,
sure,
it's fine. But it's changing that. I mean, and what I'm trying to get is people need to. I'm not saying experiment or explore or anything like that, but just educate themselves.
I'm saying experiment and explore, by the way. Yeah, educate yourself, and that's why we're here today.
So that's what I do, right? I'm a community educator for True Leaf. We have a full team across the state, and we work directly with the doctors that are seeing patients. You have to see a doctor to get your medical card. Very simple. There's amazing doctors out there, all over the place. Here in South Florida, unfortunately, it's been the hardest place to get into, man. I don't know if it's the availability in the street or people not wanting to, they don't want to do that change. But the things that we offer
or education.
The education, but the advantage, not the advantage, but what we offer, it's every single product that we dispense and that we sell has a certificate of analysis. You know what you're getting.
So that's a way people can feel good about buying your products, is they can look at the certificate of analysis versus the Chinese oils.
And there's so many different strains, and there's so many, you get into, there's something called terpenes, we start getting in there, right? Not every single strain of cannabis is going to give you the same exact effect. So there's thousands of them. So once you start knowing what's the specific profile of each one, you're going to know how you're going to feel when you consume it. And that's what we can guarantee when you go to the dispensary, that, hey, you're getting sour diesel or you're getting Charlotte's Web, which is CBD. You know what you're getting. You know what you can expect.
Well, when I go to the dispensary with my father, because he has a card, I'm overwhelmed. There are so many products. I was in San Francisco, and of course, when in Rome, you want to partake. I spent $400.
You ended up with a bunch of stuff.
I bought dog CBD. I bought, joints that I didn't even smoke. I was handing them out by the end of the weekend. But it was just so overwhelming to finally see where it was acceptable. And one thing that really blows my mind, and I think that we really need to make an effort to do more, is label it medicine. Instead of calling it a drug, it's medicine. Right. When you say, I'm taking my medicine, I'm doing my medicine, think about all the medicines you take, with the effects that they have, the opiate epidemic, right? Something as simple as cough syrup or NyQuil. We don't question that at all, what kind of medicine that is. But if somebody hands you a joint, you're going to freak out, And I think that we really need to start looking at plant medicine as a whole. Yeah. When you look at mushrooms, when you look at ayahuasca, and you look at marijuana, these are all medicines. They're plants, they're natural, that do have different effects on everybody, but they're very therapeutic. Yeah. A lot of people are going through terrible anxiety, terrible depression, and what they don't realize, because the education is not there, is that there is natural ways for you to confront those issues and overcome them. And I think that we need to do a better job, especially as like somebody who's a voice in the fitness and health community, of exploring cannabis, CBD, terpenes. I don't even know enough about it, and that's why I wanted to have you on, because I wanted everybody who's a viewer of the podcast or listener to educate themselves, because that's what it really comes down to. Don't take our word for it, because we're just two guys, I think everybody needs to work on educating themselves and not being closed-minded. Because if you close your mind down, you limit the possibilities in your life. But if you open your mind and you entertain ideas without necessarily believing one thing or the other, you're going to be able to navigate life in a much different way.
That's, you've said it, and that's experience. People, it takes me back to being Hispanic, over there, like everything is like, hey, everything's this way and nothing ever changes. You need to be open to change, and you need to take those, leaps of faith and those type of things. But it's all about being safe. It's like too much of everything, of anything, it's going to be bad. So
yeah, shit. I used to exercise twice a day, every day, and I got sick.
Correct.
If you lay in bed all day and you sleep too much, you get out of shape. There's just, everything in life is balance. And once people begin to realize that, you can't work too much, you can't work too little. You got to find your sweet spot. You got to exercise. Yeah. You got to eat the right foods. You got to sleep the right amount. And then you got to do other stress relieving techniques, supplementation, CBD, meditation. I love the saying, meditate, don't medicate. Because something as simple as breathing can change your whole life. You'll no longer have anxiety.
So I'll just add to what you're talking right now. It's preventive health or preventative health. And that's what I've been in for 12 years now. That's why I go to the gym. That's why I sleep, because I'm 36 years old and I don't have to go to the doctor, and be concerned about high blood pressure or whatever it is. Maybe 5-10 years from now, I'm not going to have to worry about it because I'm going to be still taking care of myself. And that's what everybody needs to start doing. And I've seen a big shift, probably, 10 years ago, to the fitness, right? And that was something really cool, because the fitness wave it transforms into health.
Right.
And people need to...
Once we worked out too much.
Then we realized, okay, it's not for me, I'm too old, but you balance it, right?
Yeah, you pull back a little bit. But there's a limit. You got to find your limits.
The medical system here in the United States, or globally probably, it's about, I don't want to say keeping people sick, but we as human beings, we need to take care of ourselves,
right.
And we need to make ourselves healthier.
You mean we need to be responsible for our own health?
We need to go to the gym. We need to sleep. We need to drink water more. And I think exercise, just people out there, man, get off the couch and go for a mile at least twice a week. At least twice a week. They're not doing it, man. And then on top of that, they're drinking. They're not sleeping. It's not healthy. And
I was reading a study that said walking briskly for 10 minutes after a meal was twice effective as the diabetic medication metformin for lowering blood sugar. 10 minutes of walking after each meal. You can't just do it once, and you can't do 30 minutes, but you got to do 10 minutes after each meal. And it's amazing how if you just begin to get out of the traditional programming of getting sick, going to the doctor, and before you get sick, do your blood work, right? Check your resting
every year
heart rate.
You got to get your blood work done, at least.
And you got to do a panel bigger than your doctor does, because your doctors only do a limited amount. If you're the one that says, I'm my own doctor, I'm becoming responsible for my health, I'm going to prevent all of these diseases that I know are, they come from bad behavior. They come from bad decisions. And you build a life around health. And sometimes you got to say no. Sometimes you got to tell your buddy, I'm not going to have a drink tonight. Sometimes you got to say, hey, I want to sleep and go to the gym in the morning. Sometimes you got to say no to that new job that looks so great, but now they want you working 12-hour days. Saying no sometimes will allow you to access more for yourself and actually taking responsibility for your own health. You know what? Something you touched on real quick is preventative health. I think that 2020 is the catalyst to teach people the importance of preventative health. Because if you look at the majority of people most affected by the coronavirus are people with underlying conditions. And these are conditions that most of the time are brought about by bad lifestyle choices. So now, 2021 should be the year where everybody tells themselves, I can't control how the virus is spread, but I can control myself. I can control my sleep. I can control the food that goes in my body. I can control how much I meditate, which improves immunity. Exercise improves immunity. Sleep improves immunity. And your food and your supplements improve immunity. Can you touch on real quick before we finish up how CBD actually improves immunity through its cascading effect through all the different anti-inflammatory systems?
Just when you reduce inflammation, it's just gonna work in your body. I mean, that's a good question, man. But I would leave that to a doctor to give you a little bit more info. I'll do a little bit more research and I'll get it for you. But the inflammation, it's gonna be, it's gonna be muscle inflammation. It's gonna be your gut. It's gonna be, I guess, your nervous system. Everything that's being affected. That's in a nutshell, because that's a more
basically
medical.
lower inflammation, improve quality of life.
Oh, yeah,
that's
100%.
as simple as it gets.
That is 1,000% for sure.
Well, Klaus, I mean, I can't thank you enough for coming on here and helping me educate the world on the importance of preventative health.
Small intro, because we can go for hours. Yeah, or days.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of topics that we can go over. If anybody wants to reach out, if they have any questions, I'll be happy to guide them wherever they need to go. And thank you for having me.
Of course, brother. Anytime.